Welcome to Creative Tien channel. This is Tien, and today I have a small project you can knit very quickly on the machine. It's the mug cozy or the mug sweater. I pick up some of my scrape yarn. Some are not the full skein, and I just pick up some that can go together. The mugs come in different size and shape, so if you want to give this as a gift, you might as well give the mug together with the sweater, so make sure it fits. And there are several different types of the mug sweater or the mug cozy. You can just knit the part inside the handle if it has a big handle, and just knit a long continuous rectangle and have some type of button to close it up. Or you can knit a bigger piece and sew up on the top part and the bottom part, and keep it open in the middle, so you can just place it onto the mug and take it off easily. In that case, you can also put a button in the middle if you want. So you can decide what type of the mug sweater you want. You want only the middle piece or the full length and sew it up on top and bottom, or just have a button on the top. First, you do have to make a swatch to make sure it's the right size for your mug. So I made a little swatch, and I have tension 6 on my carriage, and the mast tension is number 5. And I have 4.5 stitches per inch and 6 rows per inch. So I will calculate from that number. And I also measure the height of the sweater I want. This is around 3.5. So very quickly, here's my design. I have 41 stitches and 21 rows for an average size mug with the worsted weight yarn. And since I have 21 rows, I'm going to do some coloring stripes. And the middle one will be the strongest color, that's 7 rows. And the secondary color is 4 rows next to that and 4 rows above that. And the ribbon, I have 3 rows of a different color in the bottom and on the top. And I'm going to do the hand manipulated stitch for the purling to make it into a ribbon. So every third needle, I'm going to refold it into the purl stitch. And it's the same on the top. So that's a basic design. And after that's done, I'm going to crochet or make one string in the center so you can tie it up. Or another way is you can sew up the top and bottom, just first few stitches, so you can slide in and out of the mug. I'm supposed to have 40 stitches, but because I want to do the hand manipulated ribbon, so I want to have it even on both sides, so I add 1 stitch here. So every third needle I can do the hand manipulated stitch for the purl stitch. So I cast on from left 20 to the right 21, and just use a simple E-rub cast on and knit 3 rows. And I pick out the stitches I want to refold, that's every third stitches. And I will use the latch up tool to refold the stitches. So I start from the right side, the third needle, I will drop it, drop the stitches. Now I have 4 lines here. I will consider the first 2 the same one, and hook up the first 2, and then make a twist. And then we latch up and place it back to the needle. Now you just made a purl stitch, and we do the next third needle, drop off, I pick up the first 2 lines and twist it, and then continue latch up. and place it back. So we will reform all the third stitches all the way and finish our ribbon. After reforming the ribbon, I will add some weight and then change the color. I change it to the light pink, thread it through your carriage, and knit 4 rows. And after the 4 rows, we change color again to a darker pink or whatever color you pick out, and I will need 7 rows. So another 7 rows. And I cut the yarn after 7 rows and change to light pink again, and I need 4 rows, and I change to blue again and need 3 rows, and we'll do the manipulation for the 3 rows of blue to make into ribbon. Since you can see a row here, the pink one, I'm going to just base down that one and insert my tool here. I will insert the needle to above the pink stitch and open up so you can see. That's the first blue stitch, and then I reform the 2 stitches and place it back to the needle. And the third stitch, that's this one. I will insert the needle above that pink line and then drop the stitch. And we'll keep going for the whole row. So after the reforming of the ribbon, we can start to bind off. You can just cut a long piece of the yarn and use a tapestry needle to sew it up, like 2 stitch forward, 1 stitch back. That will be a nice finish. Or you can just use a transferring bind off. That's what I'm going to do right now. So you can use 1 prong transferring tool. Pull out the needle, knit 1 stitch, just place the yarn on the hook, push back, you just knit 1 stitch, and then we transfer that stitch to the next needle, and then pull out the needle again, and see the first needle is bound off. And now we knit the second stitch just by placing the yarn inside the hook and pull it back. And now transfer this stitch to the next stitch. Now pull out the needle. Now we place the yarn in the open latch and pull it back. We need 1 stitch, and then transfer this one to the next stitch. And we just keep repeating it. That's what it looks like. And there are many ways to finish it off. I will just connect the middle part. You can use a button and then crochet a loop, or you can just crochet 2 strings so you can tie it up in the middle. And that's what I'm going to do. So I wound these 2 yarns in the center, and I will just use a crochet hook and move it. one by one. One stitch at a time. Now the yarn's in the center. I can use a crochet hook to chain up, or I can just braid it or tie it up. Because I don't have very long yarn, so I'm just going to tie in knots. And it's very easy. You just make a knot and continue making knots, so it will be a stronger yarn. And to reinforce the edge here, I'm using the same technique, using my crochet hook, and just do it stitch by stitch. And I stop at the pink part. You can continue going if you like. So it has a stronger edge. And I'm going to weave in the end at the back, and we're done. So that's what it looks like. I tied the knot in the center, or another way is just to sew up the top and the bottom, so you can slide it in to the handle and take it off easily. Thank you for watching today, and happy knitting!